try that again, shall we? Debz Cooper, Global Stressologist, here to share you with some wisdom today. Thank you for joining me. Today we are talking about letting others be who they are. I'm just going to make sure this is, I think this is working. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how this one goes. So thank you, thank you, thank you. So letting others be who they are. I'm sure I say this is a goodie. This is a great one. This is a fantastic topic to talk about. So Debz Cooper, Global Stressologist, here from New Zealand currently. Thank you for joining me. Let me know if this is a replay. Let me know if this is, you're watching it live. And let me know where you are in the world. That's super inspiring to see how I've reached other people around the world. So let me crack on. Letting others be who they are. Woo! Wow, what does this mean? What does this mean? Does this mean backing away? Does this mean doing what? So first, I just would like to say that we all want and appreciated and valued. Absolutely. We want it and others want it. So I want it, definitely, you want it, and other people want it. It's loved, heard, appreciated, and valued. It's pretty simple. But how do we do that without destroying our own soul or others' soul in the process? Because we know that when you mother people or when you help people, sometimes it can be take away their dignity, their dependence. So it can strip them of certain things. So how do we do it without destroying us and our frustration and also them? So let me just break down what loved means. So being loved to me is being supported. It's being nurtured in a way, but also being challenged, but not to burnout challenge. So if you love somebody truly, you can say, come on, let's deal with this, etc., etc., instead of being absolutely challenged. So there's that to not burn out. And when we think about that, we also think about transparency. So it's honesty, being able to speak freely and not judged. So that's really loved. When I talk about being heard, I'm sure you've got your scenarios and your memories of this as well. Heard means when someone listens to you. They don't necessarily agree with you, which we know can happen, but it's when somebody actually listens to what you're saying and they're acknowledging you and engaging with you about that, instead of them listening and you're telling them something and they're looking down or they're looking away and they're just not even engaging and not even listening. So there's the listen to. Like I said, they don't necessarily have to agree with you, but just actually hear you. And the other thing with that is actually just being acknowledged. And when I talk about being acknowledged, just like they can nod and listen. They can think of a million things. They can think of their grocery list. They can think about how they've got other things to do at home or at work or a colleague or something's going on. But as long as it's acknowledged, and that's part about being heard, as they acknowledge you. The other thing I've got is appreciated. And so when I talk about appreciated, it's another way of saying not being taken advantage of. And when I think about not being taken advantage of, I'm thinking more where they don't constantly nag you to do things and it gets done, or they give you a guidance in something. So it's actually just not being taken advantage of. So it sits in fair exchange. The world sits in fair exchange. When I think about that being appreciated, I also think about gratitude. And gratitude is a beautiful one to get you through from any situation. It's definitely one I live by. I live, breathe, I teach, I coach, whatever you want to do it. I implement it as much as I can. And gratitude to be around when I talk about being appreciated is when you've said or actions are showing this. So somebody can say, thanks for making me a cuppa, or thanks for hanging out the washing, or thanks for doing that report, or thanks for holding the door open for me. These are just little things, but those little things become really big. So when we talk about being appreciated, those little things can actually stack up if you're not getting that gratitude. Now, be aware that gratitude can come in different forms. There's the 5 love languages, and you'll understand. So your way of gratitude may be words, and somebody else's may be action. So just be aware of what those other things are. So when we talk about being grateful, like I say, it's those said or actions or their way as well. And that helps you realize that you're actually appreciated in who you are and what you're doing. And the last one I talked about love, heard, appreciated, and valued. Now, valued is very similar to appreciated. It's about being respected and honoring you for who you are as you honor you for who you are. And when I talk about me for who I am, honoring you, but also honoring the other person for who they are. So when being respected is actually just another way of saying, I respect you enough that I'm going to listen to you, I'm going to engage with you, I'm going to take this on. I may not necessarily agree with you, you don't have to say that, but you're actually doing all these things. And another one about being valued is also being grateful again. And like I said before, it's about grateful to be around. And remember those 5 love languages. And I just can't even think what they are. There's touch. If someone's in here, let me know what those 5 love languages are if you know what they are. Oh, hi, yay. I got my friend from Perth joined us. Thank you. Morning. Oh my gosh, it must be early there. So the 5 love languages is one's gifts, acts of service, one is touch, one is words of affirmation, one is something and something else. I'll put them up in the thing, but if you know what they are, let me know what they are. So just be aware of that when it comes to gratitude and expressing it. So when we think about this, and I talked about taking someone's dignity away by parenting them, you're not their parent. Well, if you are their parent, that's a different story. But you're not actually their parent to fix who they are and what's going on in their world. So the questions you're going to ask yourself, there's one question is, just to start with, is why do you feel the urge is to fix them? What's really going on for you? Because why do you feel the urge that you have to fix that person? And then you go, my statement to that is, wouldn't it be wiser to look in the mirror? It's clearly not a mirror, but wouldn't it be wiser to look in the mirror at yourself rather than try and fix somebody else? Because as you know, you yourself are not 100% functioning in everything you can and can't be doing. And no person in the world is perfect the way they are. So it's all about evolving and stepping up to the challenge of what it is. So wouldn't it be wiser to look in the mirror instead of trying to fix that person? Now, when it comes to doing the steps for letting others be who they are, I've come up with 4 or 5, I can't quite remember, 4 or 5 of them. So, number 1 is, and I'm going to give you examples of this. So, if you do feel you need to fix them, we're going to go, what do you want to change? So, break it down. What specifically is it you want to change in this person? So, I've got some examples here of something that's come up recently. And so, one of them is, say, for example, stop their negativity. Where they just become a moaner, they're down, they're frustrated, and you want to stop that negativity. So what do you want to change? You've got pen and paper and you've gone, stop their negativity. Okay. Number 2 question you're going to ask yourself is, does it affect your life? Does it affect your life? And I suspect it does, in a way, because you're writing it down. You're dealing with it. It's actually something that frustrates you. So what does it do? So it annoys you, it ruins your day, it frustrates you, it puts you in a downer, whatever it is. So write these things down. Does it affect your day, your life? Absolutely it does, because that's what you're talking about. So number 3 is, what changes can you do? What changes can you do to stop this affecting your world? So one of the things you can do is talk to them. And I'm going to say the word nicely. This cannot come as an attack. It has to come from the heart. It cannot come pointing fingers. You're just openly talking to them because they may not be aware that they are doing what you think they're doing. So talk to them nicely. Talk to a professional about them. I know an excellent professional. Well, it's me. That would be me. Talk to me about this. Another way to get through to soften this blow, this issue that you have with them, is take ownership yourself. What you see in others is also within you. So what you can do to soften that blow, soften that frustration that you have with them, is look at you and you take ownership. And where do you demonstrate or display this action that they're doing that's frustrating you? So if it's their negativity, stop their negativity. So where do you talk negatively? Who do you talk about? Is there a person? Is there something in the world? Whatever it is there something that's going on that you talk down? And look at those memories that come up from where you do it. And this itself just softens the blow, because if you can come up with 10, 15, 20 times when you have been negative yourself, where you've talked about it, maybe you've moaned to your friends about it, maybe you've moaned to a work colleague in the current day and in the past, there'll be a massive shift in you alone to see that you can handle whatever's going on. That's just a little one. And be grateful. You know, I talked about gratitude before. Be grateful. Be grateful that they feel comfortable enough to have negative talk about something that's going on in their world with you, because they respect you enough and honor you enough to come and talk to you about whatever it is. So be grateful. Number four is make those changes. Now I talked about what changes can you do. Make those changes. Make those ones that I talked about. Talk to somebody. Talk to them nicely. Talk to me, a professional. Take ownership and be grateful. And they're pretty simple. They are pretty simple. But I want to say number 5. And so number 5 is a great one, and that's called reassess. Reassess. So do you need to do more work? If the answer is yes, do it. You've got the 4 steps that you can do. Or if the answer is no, move on. And so when I say move on, focus on you and your growth to what is important. When at the start I talked about loved, heard, appreciated and valued, can you love them? Can you love them after doing this exercise of whatever it is I've given you, of what step you're taking? Can you love them for who they are? Are they being heard? Now, you notice how I said not are you being heard? I asked, are they being heard? Then, are you being heard? So you've got to make sure this is both ways, both ways, both ways. So, is there insight into being heard? The next one is, are they appreciated? Now, you know I've gone to them again. Are they appreciated? Are you appreciating them for who they are? And are you being appreciated? So have a look at this. Have a look at this. This is going to pull some triggers in people. This is going to make you think. And the last one is, are you being valued? Are you being valued, and are they being valued? Remember, it has to go both ways. So loved, heard, appreciated and valued. We all desire that in our world. It's not that hard to do. You can do it with ease. It's just practice until you get it in flow. Remember I talked about if it's okay, you can move on and focus on your own growth. When you focus on your growth and on yourself, you become a different person. You become alive, you become inspired, you become fulfilled, you become like you are on purpose, productive, you become more that people actually want to be around you, and your heart feels full. You up that you want a piece of that cake, a piece of that pie, maybe not cake or pie, a piece of that action, a piece. Every day when I have those moments of, oh, and your heart just feels so full it's going to explode. That's what life's about. Life isn't about being in the slump. But when you're in that slump, it's okay. Feel it. Reach out. We can get you out. If you're struggling with anything that I've said, please reach out to me. There is nothing worse than sitting in your funk, in your space, whatever's happening in your world. You don't have to be like that. So I want to thank you for joining me today, and a special mention to somebody out there. Just for the record, I'm just standing up. Oh, I don't know if you can see. To see that I actually do wear things on the bottom half of my Facebook Lives, who seem to think that I don't, and I'm not just picture perfect up here, because I ain't picture perfect up there and I ain't picture perfect down there, but I do have pants on. So thank you to that person for making that note. I want to thank you for joining me today. Debz Cooper, Global Stressologist, signing off, because today I'm going to let others be who they are, and I'm going to really focus on that, not only for my own soul, but for other people around me. So thank you for joining me. Really appreciate it. That's Debz Cooper signing off. See you next week. Thank you, everyone.